up and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I figured I would do the ever requested what is on my iPhone. I've been promising this video for a little while now. I feel like I get requested this anytime I show my phone in any kind of vlog or video. I'm a little, I would say, meticulous when it comes to how I organize my phone. I don't really remember when I became this way. I think it all started when iPhones officially had that upgrade where you could change your background to a picture. The minute that you could have a background, I wanted to be able to see it. And so I started organizing all my apps so that it was only 2 rows ever at the top. And doing so made it so that I could actually see my background. And then from there, I just kept on tweaking and changing them anytime I got a new phone. And now I feel like I really like the way my phone is organized. So I've narrowed down the apps that I would say I actually use. I'm gonna share all of my favorite top apps with you guys. I don't have very many. I also feel like I need to start this by saying I don't spend a whole lot of time on my phone. I wish that there was a game. There has been times when I definitely have dipped into Candy Crush or Jurassic Park and all that good stuff, but I feel like I'm not really into iPhone games right now. So I feel like my phone is very work-based. I guess it's very media-based, it's very health-based, it's very a lot of horoscope stuff and tarot stuff, but no real games or anything. And I've narrowed down all my productivity to pretty much 2 apps. So if you guys want to know how I keep my phone organized and you want to know all the apps, tips, and tricks, and even just how I edit my Instagram photos, then hopefully you guys have a warm coffee and you get nice and cozy, and I'm gonna show you. Okay, so I have the iPhone IS Max, I believe, and I got it back in February. I have 0 complaints. In terms of my case, this is actually from All Things Co's. It's the Good Vibes Only case, and I feel like it's really cute for fall, so I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out. We have it for pretty much every iPhone size. And then as for my background, I change my wallpapers on my phone usually every 2 weeks or so. Every time I'm pinning just new inspo on Pinterest. I feel like it's just a nice refresher to always kind of keep your backdrop something new. It's kind of like a little mini dream board. You can change it to a picture that makes you feel calm, or a picture that makes you feel inspired, a picture that makes you feel happy. A lot of the times my backdrop is Bentley. Right now I just have it as, I don't know why, I just really felt calm when I saw this picture on Pinterest. It's of a tree bathed in almost, I think it's sunset. It looks like a sunset, and it's a nice meadow, and I don't know, it just brought me a lot of just calm. So I made that my backdrop right now. And then when you swipe up, the backdrop that I have to my phone is the You Get in Life What You Have the Courage to Ask For by Oprah Winfrey, and it's just this little graphic again that I found on Pinterest. So you can find all the different wallpapers that you ever see in vlogs and stuff like that. I always get asked to tweet them to you guys, and normally I do, but I also I pin almost all of them, and if they're not in my wallpapers board on Pinterest, they're probably in my Wonderlust board or my Pretty Words board, and those are pretty much where I find all of my wallpapers and what I switch them to. And yeah, and I feel like in terms of just organizing my apps, yes, I remember switching from that iPhone. I think it was iPhone 3 to iPhone 4. The iPhone 4 was the first time you could have a wallpaper. If I have a really pretty wallpaper and it's just messed by the clutter of apps, it just I just don't like looking at my phone that way. So I started organizing usually the first page with all of my top priority or the apps that I use the most. And then the second page is just folders of apps that aren't really ones that I go to more often than not, but they're secondary or even just extra apps that I don't really want to necessarily delete, but I don't use. You guys will see what I mean, because we're going to go through all of them. So the first app that I have, I guess on the bottom row, because those are your top apps, I guess. So the first one I have is just my Messages app. I feel because it's normally the one that I use the most on my phone. Then I have my Safari app, then my Spotify, and my phone calls. So I keep music, the internet, and calling and texting people on demand, because I feel okay, aside from music and Safari, I'm really bad at answering text messages, and I'm really bad at just keeping on top of calls. I don't know why, it's just a thing. I think it's a Pisces thing for me, because I'm always just off in some world, but I keep those on the deck just because it's just answer, just call people back, answer your texts before you go to bed. That's all you gotta do. And then in terms of my top used apps, at the top I have my calendar. I leave my calendar here because I actually do put things in my calendar, like my iCalendar on my laptop, and it syncs to my phone. So in case there's anything that I want to make sure I don't forget, it'll notify me on my phone too. Then beside that I have mail, because obviously emails, again, work and important, but also too, I like having those on the front page because I'm trying to get really good at turning off the red bubbles. You see all these red bubbles? I want to get rid of them all. And email has been one of those things that at the beginning of 2019, I had 6,000 emails in my inbox. 6 freaking thousand, and it took me a really long time, but I've brought my emails down. That every day I bring that baby down to 0. But also too, if I'm like on the go and stuff and I don't have time to do my emails on my computer, I'll just do them on my iPhone. And next to that I have weather, because the weather is always important. I always want to know how I need to be dressing. And then things. So this is the app that I was talking about in my vlog when I did a work day in my life. Now things is the app that I use to pretty much track my entire existence. It's an app that I downloaded going into 2019, and it's a secondary app that I downloaded. And not only do I kind of have my entire to-do list on here, although I don't really look at this app until 5 p.m., which is like a bit of a different story. It's kind of like a routine thing. This is also where I organize all the trips that I've been on this year, my blog, my like the Back to Gist series or the YouTober series, the Coffee Talk podcasts, all of my life projects I have going on, i.e. catching, Dancing with Elephants, my 2019 reading list, being a maid of honor this year, just YouTube skills in general. And then on top of that, I have my 2019 overview. Guys, I'm a little crazy with this app, okay? My 2019 goals and master plan, my gist, which is just basically I rack up anything I notice throughout the week that I need to do on Sunday. I make a list of it. My savings plan, my workout routine, and then my goals, like broken down into months. So this is pretty much, in a lot of ways, kind of like my digital bullet journal. I am such a pen to paper gal, and I'm not as funny as it is because I do everything with technology. I actually much prefer physical books, but the thing is that when you're on the go and when you're traveling and if you have places to be, it's so much easier to have things also on your computer. What I've basically done is I set myself up the night before by filling in all of my computer stuff before I close down work for the day, including on my phone or on my laptop, and it syncs on the Things app between both pieces of tech. But I don't actually check my to-do list. Like I don't check my Things app until 5 p.m. because by then I should have had most of the things on there done anyway, and then it's kind of like anything I've forgotten to do, I can do in that last hour. So then next I have my Fitbit app, which if you guys haven't noticed, I've been wearing my Fitbit for a few months now. I have a really big smile on my face because I love Fitbit. This is not sponsored. My Fitbit is like my buddy. It's my pal, I think, because it kind of makes me feel like my life gets to be a bit of a science experiment in a lot of ways. I don't know why I have so much joy over just data. Like I love just reading health data. Like I want to know how long I slept. I want to know how many dreams I had. I want to make sure I'm drinking enough water. I want to make sure that like I've definitely found a new love and passion, I think, in like the health and wellness area this year and last year too, definitely this year. And so tracking on my Fitbit just like how many steps I take, what my workouts were. I even can track like my period and all my period symptoms on here. I track like just my heart rate. I can even see when my heart rate's going up through the month. All around, I just love my Fitbit. It's like my buddy. So I keep that on the front page because I pretty much keep up to date with my Fitbit every single day. And then next to that, I have my Dreamy folder. So we're gonna start getting into my iPhone folders now. My folders are organized, I don't even know how. I just kind of like threw apps together that made sense, and this is what came of it. So on the first page, I have Dreamy. Dreamy is pretty much all of my apps that have to do with like horoscopes, tarot, all the dreamy stuff, you know?
So the first app you guys see here is CoStar. I've talked about CoStar quite a few times. It's based on your birth chart, so when you were born and where you were born, and you basically get a full daily analysis of some tips, some tricks, some things that you might notice are kind of like going on in your life. But then you also get your birth chart too, which is like a deeper insight into who you are. So what I'm showing you guys here is like my daily chart, and then this is my overall chart. So like my sun is in Pisces, moon in Libra, ascendant in Pisces. That's where I find all that information, or at least CoStar was the first place that I feel like on my phone I kind of got introduced to it. Beside that is the Golden Thread Tarot. I think I've talked to you guys about this one before too. You can pick daily cards on here. They can also help you learn how to actually do tarot, how to do different tarot spreads. It's a pretty good app and it's free. So I like this one for tarot and just for looking up deeper meanings to my own cards and my own readings when I'm doing them at home. And you can actually save your tarot too in your tarot database and look up any cards that you might already have. Next to that is Daily Horoscope. This is where I usually check my horoscope if I do now. I'm a Pisces again, and I check the daily ones, sometimes the weekly ones, and they also update for monthly ones as well. It's just a cool place to kind of like, I don't know, like I said, check your horoscope. I still go on L sometimes too, but I haven't been checking my horoscope as much as usual. Then there's Skyview. So Skyview I downloaded at the beginning of the year. Basically, if you're outside at night or wherever you are, actually, it can be daytime too, it'll show you where the alignment of the stars are based on where you're pointing your camera. So you can look up where different stars are, where different planets are, and they show you like different constellations. It's a really cool app. And then next to that, I have the Aurora app, which was basically for chasing the northern lights in Iceland, but I kept it on my phone because I feel like I'm just always gonna keep this on my phone. I don't plan on not seeing the northern lights again. And then last but not least is Time Passages, which is an app that Larissa showed me, which again is based on your birth chart and just gives you more insight and information to patterns in your life and patterns in your destiny.
Okay, so the next folder I have is Grow. So my Grow is kind of like just things that, like I guess in a lot of ways help me grow. So this is where my banking is, my Blinkist, my Goodreads, my Audible, my news, my 23andMe. These are all things that are just like making me read, giving me new information, my banking system, all of that stuff. And that's just like helping me grow as an individual. And then the next folder is my socials. So most of what I do a lot of the times with work and given the day-to-day is through social media. Like my job is social media. So that is obviously on the main page because it's what I probably click for the most in terms of work. So in my socials, I have YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, VSCO, and Pinterest.
So a common question I still get is how exactly I edit my Instagram photos. So I'm gonna share with you guys, I'm still using HB2 on VSCO. I feel like that's been my filter for so many years now, and it's just always a variation of that same filter. So I went ahead and took a picture that I already had on my phone, put HB2 on it. Then normally I'll play around with the lightness if I need to brighten it a bit or darken it a bit, depending again on the original photo. And then I always turn up the highlights and turn up the shadows so that it kind of fades out the photo a bit. I turn the temperature down or up. If it's YouTober, I've been turning it up, and then turn the tint more pink. And then I turn the skin tone up as well. And then sometimes I'll play with the fade if I need to make it match my feed a bit more. And then last is HSL. I'll play around with like the purples and blues and usually turn down the blues and up the oranges for YouTober, or turn up the pinks if it's usually any other time of the year. And that's pretty much how I edit all of my Instagram photos.
So if you swipe to the next page, the next folders that I have are lifestyle, create, travel, random, work, tools, and apps. In lifestyle, these are all pretty much things that I just like, are apps that I've had to download for certain lifestyle things or for things that I don't necessarily click for every day, but that I definitely use on my phone. In here, you're gonna see like the Cycle Finder, that's to use the bikes in Toronto, my Starbucks app, my Ritual app, my Wallet app. These are like my Google Home app, YouTube Studio Fit On, my cell phone app, all of that stuff. Things that I probably click for every like maybe week or two or once or twice a month, but not all the time. And then next to that is my create folder. So this is sometimes where I'll go in and add a couple more like touches and effects on stories for Instagram, or if I'm editing photos, if I want to use Unfold for my stories. And this is also where I keep like my camera app, my photos app, even Mojo. Mojo is really cool for making stories and things like that too. InShot. These are all just like secondary apps that'll help with my socials, but I keep my main edits, which are on VSCO, in my actual socials folder. Next to that, I have travel. So in there I have my clock because I keep like my world clocks in there. So when I've traveled, like I'll add the world clock wherever I am, and then I have a collection of them. Next to that, I have Maps, Uber, Airbnb, Pawshake, Netflix Music, Bird, and Compass. So Pawshake is pretty much just the app that I use to talk to Bentley's pet sitter anytime I'm out of town. Airbnb, pretty like straightforward, is to rent Airbnbs, talk to the Airbnbs, all that. Netflix for when I'm on the planes. Birds is just like to rent motorized scooters in the States, I believe. Compass, Music, Uber, you guys know the drill. So just basically apps that I use anytime I'm traveling. And then the last folder that I will say is probably the most organized is work, and that's where I have my Google Drive, my Camera Connect, which connects my camera to my phone, Sign Now to sign documents, Notes, and Soho, which is just like my membership card and like my Soho membership stuff. And then in Notes, that's where I collect a lot of like my brainstorms that, again, I'm not really doing in a bullet journal, but I don't really have space to do in the Things app. I do it in my Notes, and then they're just there and I have them, and they, again, are tied between my laptop and my phone. So I definitely use my Notes app a lot too. Now, as for the other three folders, which are random, tools, and apps, I would say those are the three that I use the absolute least. These are probably not even that organized. Like in random, I have iTunes Store, Home, Reminders, Books, Stocks, Facebook Messenger, which I don't really use, Ticketmaster, and Jiffy. In tools, I definitely use the calculator and the settings, so I guess this one I would use the most too because contacts is in here and FaceTime, but I don't really use pages, numbers, or find friends on here. And then in apps, I just have kind of like those apps that are already downloaded to your phone when you get it, and then 2 parking apps in the city, which I guess, if anything, should probably be in lifestyle. I'm gonna move those now. So yeah, there you guys have it. That is a full what's on my iPhone, how I edit my Instagram photos, how I organize my apps, and all of the top apps that I use for productivity and keeping on track of my job. I hope you guys enjoyed. If there's anything that I missed, be sure to let me know down below. And aside from that, I will talk to all of you guys in the next video. Bye guys.